Hi all, Brian back in. Now it's been some time since I've done a tip video for the I'm Possible project. So rather than share what I've been doing the past 4 years, I decided to talk with my friend Jake White, who's been doing a lot of entrepreneurship in his field of the nonprofit organization, with the company he founded and raised called Party.0. So sit back and relax and enjoy as Jake White shares his I'm Possible story with you. Hey guys, as I said before, I haven't been doing much over the last few years. However, right here we have Jake White, who's been doing a lot with Party.0. And today we're going to dig into some of his knowledge and how he started it and what he's been doing for his background. So Jake, it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So as far as I'm Possible project is concerned, we want to know how you are possible. How did you get to where you're at? Where did you start? And what's Party.0 all about?
Okay, cool. So I'm possible because I guess my parents had me in Louisiana, and they actually moved to Wisconsin when I was 3. So Wisconsin is what I know, and I grew up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin for most of what I can remember, and been here ever since almost. Like I'm a homebody, went to school here, went to college here, stayed at my parents' house so I could help pay for school, and yeah, worked a lot. So I didn't get any student loans.
Nice.
So yeah, and then that's kind of where my story starts, and kind of the miracle of what's happened to me is really Party.0 and how this all happened. So yeah, I'll start from freshman year. I stepped onto a campus and wanting to make friends and have fun and be a part of campus. But the thing that really set me apart and made me feel alone, even when I was around 9,000 students, was that I chose to do what most students always talked about, and it was drinking. I had no interest in drinking. I had seen what it could do to even my family, and I didn't want to get into that, and that made me that set me apart. And there was a lot of times that I felt alone, and like I just didn't belong here. So I can remember thinking there's got to be more people out there who share my decision, but they probably did what I was doing, which is don't talk about not drinking. Don't let anyone know that you're sober, because they're not going to ask you to do things on the weekends, and they're not going to want to hang out, and they'll assume you're boring or arrogant. So if everybody's doing that, how is this ever going to change? Like, how can someone who's making a decision to not drink, how are they going to actually have a fun and social life in college? And that's when Party.0, the idea really hit me, which is, hey, let's throw a huge party, a house party, but without any drugs or alcohol. And actually, I talked to my friend Steve first because I wanted a partner in this. I didn't want to do it alone. And he's like, that's a great idea, because I went home every single weekend my freshman year because I didn't want to drink. And so we thought we can actually help people with this, and we can give students an opportunity that we didn't have. So we teamed up, and we went and met 129 people actually within the first 3 days of school. And we just had a notebook and pen, and we'd invite them to our party.
Okay.
And what's really cool is, we'd meet someone new, we'd invite them to our party, and over 90% of them said, yes, I'll come to your party, I want to be on your texting list. And from there, Party.0 really just launched. Our first party, I'll admit, was a dud. People left within 45 minutes of being there. The party went from 80 people down to 0 within 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. So they called it the Kool-Aid party, because that was the best thing about it, is we had grape Kool-Aid.
So from that, if you only had Kool-Aid, how did you go out and get all the sponsorship that we've seen so far, for those who know about it?
Yeah. So what we did is we basically proved that this concept was desirable, that students actually wanted to party sober, but they weren't given the option before. So we were willing to provide that and get 80 students to a party, then a company who is trying to maybe get into the college market and share their product or service with college students, they've got an opportunity to reach 80 students on the weekend. But what happened quickly is that, we made sure that our parties were better and people felt better coming and were more included in games and dancing, and we had more things and more room. So it quickly went to 150 students at a party, to 180, until we can't really fit any more people inside the house. So
Even though you've had some success with sponsorship with Papa John's and who else?
Red Bull and Papa John's are really, really solid supporters of us.
So when you first started, did you have any sponsors who kind of said no or shut the door on you that you felt discouraged?
Yeah, we
don't need to name them, but just...
Right, yeah. No, we definitely did. And we thought, what's going to be appeal to a business? Like, Google how to write a business proposal or sponsorship proposal. Mm-hmm. And we had a one-page thing, like, here's how many students are coming, here's what you can get from it. We're getting media coverage. So we went to them to the place, walk into Papa John's and say, hey, can I talk to a manager? Awesome, hey, this is what we're doing. We're throwing this party. We're going to have, 100 students there plus. We'll probably get media coverage that we can mention you in, and this is a good cause. Can you help us out? We're throwing these unique parties. And a lot of the times they wanted to help, but sometimes they're like, well, we actually have to get corporate approval, and you have to go through this process and this process. And some people just said, well, we're not interested in giving you money or in giving you in-kind donations or food or beverages. But a lot of them would use the excuse, like a valid excuse, no, I've got to talk to my manager and his manager and his manager. We went to probably 15 places, and a third of them would be able to help us. So we got more no's than yeses, but that's what it takes.
Yeah. So once you've done that, you talked about the past, what you've been doing. What have you been doing lately since you've got out of college and stuff, and where's the business going?
Yeah. So one of the really cool things that happened is when we started realizing that other students around the country wanted this, they started writing to us on our blog. We were able to kind of conceptualize this as a business. So what would it look like sharing with students? And the more we help students, the better our business grows. What does that look like? And the Alta Resources Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation actually gave us $10,000 to develop our business.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome.
And what was cool too is now we had funding to actually grow our business, but we had mentors to help us, grow ourselves, because that's what it needs to take too to grow a business. Is the leadership needs to be there, and that helped us validate the idea on different campuses, start chapters at UW La Crosse and St. Norbert College, and even get our nonprofit status.
Wow.
Because what we learned as well is that people did want to give to this, and they wanted to be a part of it, but they want the trust and credibility of a nonprofit behind it too, since we're a mission-oriented business. Since then it's been how can we effectively help other students on other campuses do the exact same thing as us and have great success at it as well.
Nice. So out of all this, what was your biggest resource along the journey that you say you had?
Yeah, I think the biggest resource was having a partner to do things with, and at first that was Steve, helping me grow this idea. It was really an idea, and flesh out all the details and all the failures together and learn from each other as well. But then it was really that entrepreneurship center and having other people to hold us accountable and encourage us, and all the people who came to the parties, who were egging us on and saying this is so cool, how can we help? Having them on the team helping us throw parties and realizing that this thing was so much bigger than me, than an idea that I had, and that students everywhere are looking for it, and they're speaking up and saying that. So that was the biggest tool that carried over, is the fact that students are asking about it.
So now I hear there's a rumor that come February you're going national or something? Tell us about it.
Yeah. In February of 2017, we're launching a national tour where we'll be traveling the entire country, throwing sober house parties on one campus in every single state. And it's going to take a year and a half. So it's a long tour, it's a big commitment, but it's really going to show the nation that we're here and that Party.0 is possible on their campus. Because a lot of people think sober house party, like who's going to go to that? And they have no idea that there are hundreds of students on their campus who are willing to go to it. They just haven't been invited yet, you know? So we want to, yeah, we're bringing that to them. And then the plan from after that, the sustainability factor, is that we don't just want to stop there. Once the word gets out, people are going to start asking more and more, how can we have this on our campus? And then we'll be able to bring people in for a national conference every single year and send them out to their schools. So there's no cap on how many students we can have in a year.
Yeah. So out of that, tell us, you know, between September and February, how can people help you out? What are you doing between then? Mm-hmm. You know, is there a place they could donate, go and help you get there?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone can be a part of this. We're actually launching a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo.com, and it's called the Party.0 National College Tour. Okay. That's our campaign name, and it launches September 6th. So what we've actually done is you try to let people know before the campaign launches about it so that it can be successful. So if anybody here wants to help out with that, jump online at September 6th and donate to our Indiegogo campaign. And you're actually going to help us get on the front page of Indiegogo. And millions of students will see this that have never seen it before. So that's the big view. But if anybody wants to donate one time or monthly, you can always hop onto Party.0.org, and we have a donate link that's there as well.
And I'll also put his website down in the comments section, guys, so you can view that right underneath this video. One last thing, any advice you want to give to somebody who might be starting out entrepreneurship or a business or a nonprofit or anything in life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the most valuable piece of advice that I've learned from this journey is that you're always going to come to a decision to either fit in or stand out. And you have to choose for yourself what you're going to do, because obviously everyone else is going to want you to fit in. But oftentimes the opportunity, it lies where you stand out. So when I, basically went out and said that I'm different by being sober, that's really when I thought that I was standing out. But all the people from the woodworks who were looking for this, they made me feel like I fit in, because we found that group of people, we found our home. And I think that's where the real change is. That's where you kind of come alive, because you're not just going through the motions. You're not just fitting in. You're not just doing your daily routine. You're actually making an impact. So
that's awesome. Well, guys, you heard it here from Jake White. In order to fit in, you want to stand out, okay? So first of all, thanks, Jake, for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Guys, check us out in a few weeks when I'm back. As always, humble to be here, grateful to know you.